Hello, I'm Siamecat. Cat's right. Oh no, I'm 35 years late to the party! I should have made this video back in '85!
Super Mario Brothers. There's a reason this game made history. But just because it's a product of its time, doesn't mean you still can't have fun with it. The story is certainly a story. This makes sense for the very first Mario game. However, we only could have hoped for something different for the entire rest of the series. If you don't know what this story is, firstly, how did you find this video? And secondly, Bowser captures Princess Peach, and Mario says he shan't get away with this. The gameplay is, well, it's Mario. You're going to be running and jumping to the right.
Were you expecting something else?
Possibly the most dated aspect of Super Mario Bros. Are the controls. They're usable, sure, but after playing modern Mario games for so long, this feels weird. I think it has to do with how long it takes to build up momentum in the air. If you only hold the run button for half a second then jump, you'll go next to nowhere. Whereas in modern Mario games, you can still gain momentum in the air. Now let's go over the items. Ah, dang it, I used the footage of my grandmother playing. The Super Mushroom turns you into Super Mario. You can break blocks as Super Mario, but more importantly, the next time you find a Super Mushroom, it will instead be a Fire Flower. This thing is great, it allows you to cremate anyone in your path. Taking damage will make Fire Mario revert back to Mario, which seems oddly harsh compared to modern Mario games, where taking damage reverts you back to Super Mario. On top of that, some enemies in the later worlds are immune to being cremated, like the Buzzy Beetles. These things are pretty much invincible. Speaking of invincibility, the Superstar makes Mario invincible for about 10 seconds. It's really fun to plow through enemies with this thing. One-up mushrooms are tricky to find, but grant an extra life. And collecting 100 coins also grants an extra life. How about the levels themselves? Let's finally start our adventure in World 1. These are 4 of the most well-known platforming levels ever. World 1-1 is, well, it's World 1-1. World 1-2 is the classic underground level, home of the Warp Zone. Warp Zones let you skip ahead up to 3 worlds, making this something you probably heard about from your friend at the playground. In combination with another Warp Zone in 4-2, this allows you to complete the game in 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. 1-3 is a simple but fun athletic level, and 1-4 is the first castle level. These are among the hardest in the game, with lots of lava bubbles and fire bars to avoid. Winning at the end of every castle is Bowser, who really isn't that much of a challenge. The intended way of fighting him was probably to jump over him, but if you can take a hit, just run through him. Just when you thought you've rescued Princess Peach, you are instead greeted by Toad. The best character in the entire series. I think the reason most people hate the little guy is because the first time you see him, he says the infamous line, "Your princess is in another castle." I'm going to talk about the music, because we've already heard every song now. The ground theme is the most recognized and celebrated video game song ever. Even if you've only played one Mario game or don't even play games at all, this has probably been stuck in your head at least once. As for the underground theme, the underwater theme, and the castle theme, I feel these songs are more iconic than they are good. Don't get me wrong, these are fine songs, but they're also nothing I would want to listen to when I'm not playing the game. Another thing I noticed about this game is that probably around a world worth of levels in Super Mario Bros. Are made up of the results of copy and pasting. All they'll really do is add extra enemies. 5-3 is a repeat of 1-3, 6-4 is a repeat of 1-4, 7-3 is a repeat of 2-3, and 5-4 is a repeat of 2-4. There are probably some others I'm missing too. At least it's not as bad as modern Mario games, where the entire post-game is made up of repeated levels. Anyway, World 2 introduces the dreaded water level, and it sucks. In fact, water levels in Mario games would continue to suck until Nintendo took a half step in making Mario control well. And as always, that half step came in the form of power-ups. And as always, without said power-ups, they still suck. The bloopers in this game are very hard to deal with. Their movement patterns are seemingly random and difficult to predict. Come on, let me through! Every level in World 3 takes place at night, which is pretty cool. There's also the infinite life trick that I can't do, and the introduction of the most annoying enemy in this game. Because they throw torrents of hammers in the only direction Mario can go to avoid them. The only unfair Hammer Bro placement is in 5-2, that one's just stupid. Though as long as you time your flailings correctly, you should be fine. World 4-1 introduces Lakitu, another fairly annoying enemy, but World 4-4 introduces one of the worst concepts I've seen in a platformer. pick a path. Yeah, you thought only 6-year-old Mario Maker players did this crap? Well, no. This has been around since the very beginning. It's simple, really. You can either pick the top path or the bottom path, or up to 3 or 4. If you pick wrong, say hello to that section of the level again, and again, and again, until you finally guess the right one. It's trial and error in its purest form, and it sucks. World 5 is presumably a snow world. That's a neat detail. World 6 has this cool grayscale level, and the game starts to get fairly challenging from this point on. World 7 too has a water level, which is actually a repeat of 2-2, meaning this game only has one unique water level.
Instead of making another water level, let's just add blooper spam to the last one.
Oh yeah, and 7-4 is pain. 8-1 is very long, 8-2 is very difficult, 8-3 infamously has a lot of hammer bros, and 8-4 is pick a pipe with a water section. Well, so much for the final level being good. Make sure not to get hit by this hammer bro, and you're all set to walk right through Bowser. Why would Bowser put an axe there anyway? Seems like terrible evil lair design. Anyway, Princess Peach is saved, the end. Until Bowser decides to capture her 30 more times.
Super Mario Bros. Is the most influential video game of all time. But it's more than just a relic of the past we can acknowledge. While many aspects of it may have aged with time, that core gameplay is what keeps us coming back. Now this isn't going to be the next video, but the next time I cover a classic platformer, it will be Super Mario Bros. 2, the sequel.
Sorry, Siamecat, but you have to play Lost Worlds first!
Oh, come on!